I thought that was Thumper returned, but I think it's that hedgehog, that Echidna. That's what it is. That's that Echidna. I thought it was Thumper come back. I've been cleaning up mice lately. I'm sick of mice, but there's a mouse plague on. And I was filming some mice today with the camera trap just to see what the result would be. I thought this little creature was Thumper, but it's not. It's an Echidna. It's an Echidna doing its Echidna thing. So it eats ants, and it has a duck's bill, and it lays eggs, and it has a pouch and gives milk to its babies. So what is it? It's not a mammal, or it's a monotreme. Hello, little Echidna. You lay eggs, don't you? Aren't you cute? Let's see how close I can get to you without bothering you too much. Are they dim sight? Listen to that dreadful horn. Do I recall that they're dim sighted? Do I also recall that they use electricity, a bit like a platypus, to find their prey? Its nose looks just like a leaf from where I am. It's not doing much, is it? Well, hedgehogs were introduced to New Zealand, but I don't think they were successfully introduced to Australia. This is an Australian Echidna. Hedgehogs don't have pouches, and they don't lay eggs, and they don't have a duck's bill. This is jerky handheld. No, I know a male platypus has a thing on its back leg that it can give a sting with. I'm not sure if echidnas can do that. I think they might have a sting or something, a spur. Its nose just looks like a piece of wood. Indeed, if I didn't think about it, I could just think that the echidna was just some old grass, an old grass stump. Everybody, that's an echidna's bill. Listen to that wind. And now someone's using an angle grinder. Oh. So it's an echidna or spiny anteater. And that's its tail there. Seems to have a sort of tail. That's its tail end. And its quills, were they once feathers? On the evolutionary tree, are the quills evolved from feathers? They're pointed anyway. Oops. They do look like some burnt grass, a stump of grass that's been through a bushfire. That's what they look like. Once an echidna was in our garage trying to drill a hole in the floor, and we tried to pick it up with welding gloves, but it was hanging on for dear life. So even though they're only small, they do have a very strong grip. They're good at burrowing, apparently. I don't think inexperienced people are supposed to pick them up. I recall seeing a show or something where you're not supposed to pick them up because they can be easily damaged. I'm not going to pick it up anyway, but it's just that, well, anyway, look how many thorns it's got on it. Quills, whatever they're called. There's its little bill, its little bird bill, its little duck's bill. It's a relative of the platypus, and I suppose it must be a relative of the duck. What's your runny little nose? Have you got hay fever like I have? That's an Australian echidna, folks. Breathing. This is my little wind in the willows scene, even though there aren't any willow trees here. Well, there are all holes around the place. Some of them look like drillings, some of them look like mice or rats have dug holes. As I say, I'm fed up with rats and mice lately. There's a mouse plague on, and we had them in the house, but we've blocked them out now, which is great. I had to go through all my piano music. All the mice got into my piano music. What you up to, Echidna? Where's your little nose? How to focus on your nose. That's better. There's an echidna's nose, close up. What do they call nares or something? Crossword puzzles says, what do crossword puzzles say? Horses' nostrils are called nares or something. They're the nostrils of an echidna. I have seen a platypus once. I've seen them in Taronga Zoo in Sydney, of course, but I've only seen a platypus once in the wild. There's our little echidna friend. Let's have a look at your eye. Is that your eyelid covered in mud? It is. I'd have to get down low, I think, to see into your eye. You've obviously been digging, haven't you? Your beak's all muddy. Bill. Handheld. Doesn't seem to mind me being around. Yeah. Oh, you gave me a fright. I better leave you alone. I'd better leave you alone and in peace. There's a big ant hill. I wonder if this is the sort of ants that the echidna eats. I don't know that it is. Might be though. Might be the sort that it eats, but I wouldn't know. Is this the sort of ant that the echidna anteater eats? What are you carrying? Okay, folks, I'm just going to let that echidna do its own thing. It can just go about its business. I don't want to upset it. It can just go about doing what an echidna does, which is pretty good, which is looking like a tree, really. Looking like some dried up grass beside a tree. That's what it looks like. There's an example of some digging, but I think it might be a rat or mouse tunnel. It's too small for an echidna. And it doesn't seem to be an ant's nest. That's too big for a spider. It's too small for an echidna or a rabbit. It must be a mouse or a rat hole. That's it, show us your tongue. Show us your tongue, go on. Oh, you've got one eye open, I see. Wind in the willows. And you've got mud over one eye. Here's mud in your eye. Perhaps you've lost the use of one eye. I see, you're sniffing around for ants. It's a walking pincushion. It's going to try and get through the fence, I think. That's very good camouflage, really, isn't it? There's the echidna. That's the echidna. And there's some grass. They're not unlike each other, are they? Some dry grass. And some dry echidna grass. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Where are you? I've lost you now, I see. There's dry grass and dry echidna grass. Very similar. I want to see if your left eye is functional. That must be the tail, or otherwise it's a sea urchin off the coral reef. I think I'll leave you to it this time. This time I'll leave you, definitely leave you to it on your autumn afternoon to do whatever you like.